the alien Empress froze when her human mate revealed the power he'd been high. Liam Carter stood on the edge of the landing platform, staring at the wide purple skies of Zarathus. The planet was larger than Earth and had an unusual light that seemed to glow even in the thin morning mist. Mountains with sharp peaks stretched across the horizon, and the valleys below were filled with swirling mists that hid strange shapes. Liam took a deep breath. This was his first mission to a planet outside human territory, and he felt a mix of excitement and caution. The landing ship hummed quietly behind him. Its metal walls were polished but scratched from the long journey. Liam checked his gear for the 5th time, making sure everything was ready. His communicator beeped softly.
"All systems stable. Mission parameters uploaded," said the automated voice.
Liam nodded and stepped down from the platform, letting his boots sink slightly into the soft violet soil. He looked around. Zarathus was alive in a way Earth had never been. The air shimmered with energy, and he could feel faint vibrations under his feet. Trees with crystal-like leaves reached high into the sky, and rivers of silver water wound through the valleys. Small creatures darted among the trees, moving so fast Liam could barely see them.
"Keep your focus, Liam," he muttered to himself. "You are here to meet the Empress. That is your priority." A hover vehicle approached from a distant palace. Its sleek design reflected the sunlight, and it moved without making a sound.
From the vehicle stepped a group of aliens, tall and slender with pale blue skin. Their eyes were bright and seemed to glow faintly. They were Zarathians. Liam remembered from the briefings. Each of them wore ornate robes and carried long staffs that emitted soft lights. At their head was a woman taller than the others. Her presence seemed to command the very air around her. Liam could see the sharp elegance in her movements and the confidence in her gaze. This must be Empress Alara. She studied him carefully, her glowing eyes examining every detail of his appearance. Liam straightened his back and raised his hand in greeting. "Welcome to Zarathus," she said in a calm, melodic voice. Her words were clear, but there was an edge to them, as if every word had been measured and tested.
"Thank you, Your Majesty," Liam replied, keeping his voice steady. "I am honored to be here." Alara's expression did not change.
She motioned for him to follow her. Liam walked beside her as they entered the palace. The building was enormous, made of crystal and metal that shimmered with the planet's light. The walls seemed alive, glowing with subtle patterns that shifted as he walked past. Liam felt a strange energy in the air, almost as if the palace itself was watching him.
"You are the first human to visit Zarathus," Alara said.
"Many have tried before. Few have come this far. I hope to learn from you," Liam said, "and to help build understanding between our people." Alara's gaze softened just slightly, but Liam could sense the suspicion behind it. Humans had never been a threat in her experience, but they were unpredictable. She led him to a wide chamber with high ceilings. At the center was a platform surrounded by a circular pool of shimmering liquid. The floor reflected the ceiling like a mirror.
"You will stay here for now," Alara said.
"Your quarters are prepared. You will meet my council soon." Liam nodded, noticing the guards standing silently at the edges of the room. They were tall, with sharp features and glowing weapons strapped to their sides. Despite their beauty, he felt the tension in their stance. These were elite warriors, and he would have to be careful. After Alara left, Liam walked to a large window overlooking the valley. The view took his breath away. The rivers reflected the sky, and in the distance he could see the mountains twisting like jagged blades. The wind carried a faint hum, almost musical, that seemed to come from the planet itself. He felt a strange connection, as if the world was alive and aware of him. The next day, Liam was introduced to the Council of Zarathus. They were unlike any political group he had ever seen. Each member had a distinct presence, their glowing eyes showing intelligence and caution. He was asked questions about Earth, humans, and their abilities. He answered honestly but carefully, knowing that any mistake could damage the fragile trust he was trying to build. "Humans are adaptable," one council member said, "but your kind is unpredictable. And you control your instincts." Liam met the alien's gaze steadily.
"I can control my instincts," Humans have limits, yes, but we also have resilience. That is our strength, the council members whispered among themselves, some nodding, others frowning.
Alara watched silently from the side, her expression unreadable. Liam noticed that she studied his every movement, almost like she was trying to measure him without speaking. Over the next few days, Liam was guided through Zarathian society. He saw their cities, built on floating platforms above the forests, their technology powered by energy he could barely understand. Zarathians moved with grace and intelligence, but he also noticed a rigidity. Their society valued control and order above all else. During a visit to a training hall, he watched Zarathian warriors practice. They moved with precision, but Liam saw something missing. Humans had unpredictability, creativity, and intuition. In the back of his mind, he noted that these qualities could be important if the need arose. Alara invited him to join her in a private garden one evening. The garden was unlike anything on Earth, with glowing plants and flowers that seemed to float. The air smelled sweet and warm, carrying a soft vibration that made Liam feel alert. "You are unlike any human I expected," Alara said. "You are calm, but not weak, clever, but not reckless." "Thank you, Your Majesty," Liam replied.
"I try to understand before I act. That is what humans do best."
"We adapt." Alara smiled faintly, a gesture so subtle Liam almost missed it. "And yet," she said, "I feel there is more to you than you let show. Humans are full of surprises. Perhaps that is why I feel unsettled." Liam met her gaze. "Perhaps, Your Majesty. Humans are capable of more than most realize. But I am here as a friend, not a threat." The Empress studied him for a long moment, then turned away, walking along the glowing path. Liam followed, careful to give her space. He sensed that building trust with her would take time, patience, and understanding. That night, Liam returned to his quarters and reviewed the planet's maps and reports. He noted strategic locations, energy sources, and potential dangers. But he also thought about Alara. There was something in her presence that made him uneasy yet fascinated. She was proud, strong, and intelligent. A true leader. The following day, a minor crisis occurred. A small faction of Zarathians attempted to attack a supply convoy. Liam accompanied Alara's guards to witness the confrontation. He stayed in the background watching the battle unfold. Alara's warriors moved with precision, but Liam noticed small gaps in their strategy. Using subtle signals and suggestions, he helped the defenders adjust their movements. The attack was repelled with minimal loss. Alara watched him closely after the battle. "You interfered," she said softly, her voice calm but firm.
"I only suggested," Liam replied. "You and your warriors are powerful."
"I just helped in a small way." Alara's eyes narrowed slightly, studying him. She had expected humans to be weak, but Liam had a quiet strength she did not anticipate. For the first time, she felt a flicker of doubt about her assumptions. Over the next week, Liam continued to learn about Zarathus, and Alara continued to observe him. They spent time in the palace library, walking through the gardens, and attending council meetings. Slowly, a mutual curiosity began to form. Alara was drawn to his intelligence, his calm presence, and the strange confidence he exuded. Liam was intrigued by her strength, her grace, and the subtle sadness that sometimes appeared in her expression. One evening, as the purple sun set behind the mountains, Liam and Alara stood on a balcony overlooking the valley. The sky glowed with 1,000 shades of violet and pink, and the rivers reflected the colors like liquid mirrors.
"You are not what I expected, human," Alara said quietly.
"I thought you would be simple, fragile, easy to control."
"I am not," Liam replied calmly. "Humans are not always what they seem.
We survive because we adapt. We learn. We endure." Alara turned to him, her glowing eyes meeting his. For a moment, the distance between them seemed to vanish. She felt a mix of admiration and caution, a strange pull she could not explain. Liam sensed it too. He did not reveal his full abilities yet, only allowing her glimpses of his understanding and insight. But deep inside he knew that Zarathus was a planet where humans could be underestimated, and that underestimation could become their greatest advantage. That night, as Liam prepared for sleep, he looked out the window at the glowing landscape. He felt a quiet determination. He was here to learn, to observe, and to build a bond with the alien Empress. But he was also aware of the power he carried, the hidden potential that he had yet to reveal. And when the time came, that power could change everything on Zarathus. Liam closed his eyes, feeling the hum of the planet beneath him. He was ready. The next morning, Liam woke to the soft light of Zarathus spilling through the crystal windows. The violet sky seemed calmer than yesterday, but he knew calm was often a warning here. He dressed quickly and left his quarters, ready for another day of learning about the alien empire and its people. Alara met him in the grand hall, her long robes flowing behind her as she walked. Today she was not surrounded by guards, only a few attendants who stayed respectfully behind. She gave Liam a look that was curious, almost playful. "Today," she said, "you will see how Zarathians live, how we think, and how we govern. You will observe, and you may speak when appropriate." Liam nodded. "I will listen first, and speak carefully." They moved through the palace corridors, which shimmered with energy. The walls seemed to pulse lightly, and Liam could feel the subtle vibrations in the floor. Zarathian technology was alive, almost like a part of the planet itself. They reached a chamber where dozens of Zarathians were working at intricate consoles. Energy flowed through wires and crystal conduits, and machines moved with precision. Alara paused and gestured for Liam to watch. "These are our engineers," she explained. "They maintain our cities, our defenses, and our energy sources." Every Zarathian learns discipline and precision from a young age. Mistakes are costly. Liam observed quietly. He could see the intelligence in every worker's movements, but he also noticed that their creativity was limited. Every action followed a pattern, and deviations were discouraged. He thought of humans, who often succeeded by thinking differently, by breaking rules. "Your people are very precise," he said. "But do they ever create outside the rules? Solve problems in ways that are not taught?"
Alara's gaze flicked to him, sharp and assessing.
Some do, she admitted, but most follow the order. "Chaos is dangerous." Liam smiled slightly. "Sometimes chaos is what leads to survival. The humans have learned that." She did not respond immediately, only walking beside him as they continued. They moved to a training arena, where young Zarathians practiced combat and energy manipulation. Liam watched silently as warriors used precise, controlled movements to strike targets. The energy pulses from their hands were beautiful but uniform. "You noticed something unusual?" Alara asked. "Yes," Liam said. "You are strong, precise, and powerful. But your fighters lack unpredictability. If an enemy thinks differently, they could exploit this." Alara's eyes narrowed. "You are suggesting humans could outsmart us?" "I am suggesting humans think differently," Liam replied. "Not better or worse, different. That difference is often what allows us to survive." She was quiet, considering his words. Liam could feel a small shift in her demeanor. He sensed curiosity growing, a spark of interest in someone who rarely allowed herself to be surprised. Later, Alara took him to the market district of the city. Hovering platforms carried goods, and merchants displayed exotic items that shimmered with energy. Humans would have considered this market a marvel, but Liam noticed the controlled chaos. Every movement of the merchants was carefully timed, every transaction monitored. "Your people trust little," Liam said. Alara glanced at him. "Trust can be dangerous. One mistake, and all could fall." They passed a group of children playing a game that involved energy spheres. The children moved quickly and carefully, following strict rules. Liam watched as one child tried a different move, only to be corrected by a teacher. "Even the young are taught order," he observed.
"Yes," Alara said. "Gold white."
"Order is life. Without order we cannot survive." Liam nodded. "Order is important, but sometimes flexibility is also survival." Alara did not answer immediately. She seemed distracted, watching the humans interact with her people, measuring Liam's words. Liam smiled inwardly. He was planting seeds, small insights that would grow over time. That evening, Alara invited him to a private garden within the palace. It was more beautiful than any garden on Earth, with plants that glowed softly and streams that hummed with energy. "Tell me, human," she said. "What do you think of our planet?" "Our people?" Liam looked around, absorbing the beauty and energy. "Your planet is alive in a way humans have never seen. Your people are strong and disciplined, but there is rigidity. Life outside order can feel foreign to you. But humans thrive in the unknown." Alara's eyes widened slightly. "You speak boldly. Many would fear saying such things to me." "I do not fear you," Liam said simply. "I respect you. I also observe carefully." Respect and understanding are not fear. Alara considered this, her glowing eyes studying him. For a moment she seemed almost human in her expression, curious, thoughtful, and uncertain. Liam felt a subtle connection forming, though he kept it guarded. The following day, an urgent message arrived at the palace. A small group of rogue Zarathians had attacked a border outpost. Alara summoned her council and Liam to discuss the matter. "They challenge my rule," she said, her voice steady but sharp. "They believe I am weak because I allowed a human here." Liam nodded. "They underestimate you. And me." Alara raised an eyebrow. "You will not fight." "I will assist," Liam said. "If you allow me to advise, you may gain an advantage without unnecessary risk." She studied him. After a moment she nodded. "Very well, speak." Liam observed the reports, the positions of the outpost, and the patterns of attack. He suggested small adjustments to patrol routes, warning signals, and defense placements. The council murmured among themselves, surprised at the insight from a human. During the operation, Liam accompanied the forces at a safe distance. He did not fight directly but guided the leaders subtly, indicating where threats could appear and how to respond quickly. The attack was repelled with minimal loss, and the rogue group was forced to retreat. Alara watched him quietly afterward. "You interfered," she said softly. "I guided," Liam corrected. "You and your people are strong. I only help them see things from another perspective."
Alara's gaze lingered on him.
"You are not like other humans," she said. "You are careful yet bold. You think quickly, yet you hide much." Liam smiled faintly. "Humans often have more than they show. That is how we survive." Alara was silent for a long time. She was not used to being challenged, even subtly, but she found herself respecting the human in front of her. For the first time she wondered what humans were truly capable of. Over the next few days, Liam continued to observe and advise in small ways. He spent time in the libraries learning about Zarathian history and culture. He walked through the gardens with Alara, speaking of Earth, humans, and the possibilities of cooperation. Slowly, she began to see him not only as a visitor, but as a person with insight, intelligence, and unusual courage. One evening, as the twin moons of Zarathis rose over the mountains, Liam and Alara stood together on the palace balcony. The sky glowed with violet and silver, and the rivers reflected the moons like liquid mirrors. "You have a way of seeing things others miss," Alara said quietly.
"I feel curious about you, and unsettled."
"That is natural," Liam said. "Humans are different."
"Sometimes we challenge what others know. Sometimes we surprise them." Alara's glowing eyes studied him carefully. "Do you hide more than you reveal?" "Always," Liam said simply. "Humans learn by observing, by understanding before acting. That is how we survive." Alara was silent, letting his words sink in. For the first time she felt both admiration and caution toward him. He was a human, yes, but he was also far more than she expected. And in that moment she realized that humans were not to be underestimated. Liam looked out at the landscape, sensing the quiet energy of the planet. He knew the bond between him and Alara was only beginning. Trust would take time, patience, and careful action. But he also knew that when the time came, his hidden abilities could change everything on Zarathus. As the night deepened, Liam returned to his quarters. He reviewed his notes and prepared for the days ahead. His presence on Zarathus was more than diplomacy. It was a chance to prove that humans, though underestimated, could rise to challenges even the most powerful alien civilizations could not imagine. He closed his eyes, feeling the hum of the planet beneath him. He was ready for whatever came next. Liam woke to the faint violet light of Zarathus streaming through his window. The air in the palace was calm, but he knew calm could be deceptive. He dressed quickly and checked his gear. Today would be different. He had learned a lot about Alara, her people, and the subtle weaknesses hidden beneath their perfection. Alara was already waiting for him in the garden. Her glowing eyes seemed sharper today, alert. She wore a light robe that shimmered in the morning light. Liam noticed the careful control in her movements. Even in a garden, she carried herself with the authority of an empress. "Good morning, human," she said, her voice calm but with an edge. "Today you will accompany me on a journey beyond the city. You will see parts of Zarathus that few outsiders are allowed to witness." Liam nodded. "I am ready, Your Majesty." They stepped into a sleek hover vehicle, its smooth surface reflecting the light. The city fell away below them, replaced by dense forests and winding rivers. Liam could see the planet's energy lines glowing faintly beneath the ground, pulsing with a rhythm that seemed alive. "Where are we going?" he asked. "To a research facility in the mountains," Alara replied. "It studies energy anomalies. Some are dangerous. Some are unpredictable. You must observe closely, human." Liam nodded, keeping his eyes on the landscape. The mountains were jagged, sharp, and majestic. Mist rose from the valleys and strange shapes moved among the trees. The planet felt alive, almost aware of their presence. When they arrived, a team of scientists greeted them. The facility was built into the mountains, its walls glowing with energy conduits. Liam felt the subtle vibrations under his feet and knew this place was special. Alara led him to a chamber filled with machines that hummed and glowed. Strange crystals pulsed with light, and energy flowed through channels in patterns Liam had never seen before. "These anomalies are unstable," one scientist explained. "They could disrupt our systems if handled incorrectly." Liam observed carefully. He saw the flows of energy, the patterns, and the possible points of failure. His mind worked quickly, calculating, predicting, and analyzing. Humans had always learned to improvise, and his instincts were sharp. Alara watched him as he studied the machinery. "You seem unusually perceptive," she said. "Most humans would be lost here."
"I pay attention,"
Liam said. "Humans survive by noticing what others overlook. That is how we endure." Alara's eyes glowed faintly as she considered his words. There was respect there, but also curiosity. She did not fully understand humans yet, but she was beginning to sense that they were not as weak as she had believed. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. One of the energy conduits was unstable, and a surge of power threatened the facility. The scientist froze, unsure how to respond. Liam acted without hesitation. He moved to the control panel and analyzed the flow. His hands hovered over the interface as he calculated the energy patterns in his mind. Then, calmly, he guided the scientists.
"Redirect the flow here," he said, pointing. "Increase the stabilizers slightly, but not too much."
"You will need to balance the feedback." The scientists hesitated, but they followed his instructions. The surge subsided, and the machine stabilized. A quiet hum filled the chamber, smoother than before. Alara's eyes widened. "You controlled it?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "I guided it," Liam replied. "The machines obey patterns. Humans learn patterns and adjust. That is what I did." Alara studied him silently. She had seen strength in many forms, but this was different. He was not just clever. He had a presence, a calm authority, and an understanding that seemed beyond his species. She felt a strange mix of respect and unease. After the emergency, Liam and Alara left the facility. The hover vehicle carried them over the mountains, and Liam gazed at the valleys below. He could see small settlements glowing faintly, and the rivers reflecting the light of the twin moons.
"Your people are strong," he said quietly.
"But they rely too much on rules and patterns. That can be dangerous if someone breaks them." Alara considered this. "Humans are unpredictable," she said. "And yet you seem controlled, calm."
"Humans learn to survive,"
Liam said simply. "We adapt. We endure. We plan for what others do not see." For the first time, Alara seemed uncertain, as if she were trying to measure him and failing. She was not used to uncertainty, and yet she found it compelling. Back at the palace, the council gathered again. Reports of small uprisings reached them, rogue factions testing the strength of Alara's rule. She looked to Liam.
"You will remain with me during these discussions," she said. "I want your perspective." Liam observed carefully.
The council members argued, each defending their own strategies. Some suggested harsh retaliation, while others proposed diplomacy. Liam spoke calmly when asked, pointing out weaknesses in the proposed plans and offering alternatives that balanced strength with caution.
Alara listened closely.
She valued his insight, though she did not fully understand the depth of his abilities. Slowly, she began to rely on him, not only as an observer, but as an advisor. Later, Liam was walking through the gardens when a messenger arrived. A small group of rogue Zerathians had infiltrated the outskirts of the city. The situation could escalate if not addressed quickly.
Liam rushed to Alara's side, analyzing the reports.
"These are not ordinary rebels," he said. "They have knowledge of your systems, your patrols, and your defenses. They are organized and cautious." Alara's expression darkened. "They are testing me. We cannot underestimate them."
"I will help," Liam said.
"Let me suggest a plan that minimizes risk and maximizes effectiveness." Alara nodded, allowing him to guide the response. Liam suggested small strategic adjustments to patrols, positioning, and signals. When the rebels attempted their attack, the defenses were ready. The group was contained and captured without major losses. Alara studied him afterward. "You are not like any human I have met," she said quietly. "You are clever, cautious, and powerful in ways I cannot measure." Liam met her gaze calmly. "I have abilities you do not know, but I reveal only what is necessary. Humans survive by adapting and hiding strength until the right moment." Alara felt a chill. She had always been powerful, confident, and in control, and yet here was a human who challenged her perception, someone who could change the balance without even revealing his full strength. She was intrigued, but also wary. Over the next few days, Liam continued to learn more about Zarathis while subtly testing the limits of their technology and defenses. Alara watched closely, often questioning his methods, but also noticing the results. Slowly, a bond of trust and curiosity formed between them. One evening, Alara invited him to a secluded terrace overlooking the city. The lights of Zarathis shimmered like stars below, and the twin moons reflected on the rivers. "You have skills I cannot ignore," she said quietly. "You influence events without forcing them, guide people without command."
"I do not understand how you do this." "I observe, I calculate, and I adapt," Liam replied.
"Humans survive by using the mind as much as strength. That is my way." Alara studied him silently. She had faced countless threats, yet this human made her feel cautious in a new way. She had power, knowledge, and psychic abilities, but she could feel that he had something beyond her understanding. "You hide much," she said finally. "And yet, I sense your presence is stronger than it appears. I reveal what is needed," Liam said simply. "The rest is my choice." For a long moment, they stood together in silence, watching the glowing city below. Alara felt a mix of respect, admiration, and unease. This human, small and fragile compared to her in appearance, had an inner strength she had never encountered before. Liam felt it too. The subtle tension, the curiosity, the unspoken acknowledgement that something important was growing between them. He did not reveal his full power yet, but he knew the time would come. Zarathis was a dangerous planet, and soon both he and Alara would face challenges that could change everything. As the night deepened, Liam returned to his quarters. He reviewed notes prepared for upcoming council meetings and considered the rogue factions still at large. His presence on Zarathus was more than observation. It was influence, strategy, and preparation. Humans were underestimated, but he intended to show that their potential could be greater than even the most powerful alien species imagined. He looked out at the glowing horizon, feeling the hum of the planet beneath him. Soon, events would force him to reveal more of his abilities. And when that time came, Alara would see that humans were not only adaptable, but capable of powers she could scarcely imagine.
Liam closed his eyes, letting the quiet strength of the planet surround him.
He was ready for what was coming next, ready to guide, to protect, and to reveal the first hints of the power he had kept hidden for so long. The palace was quiet in the early morning. Liam Carter stood on the balcony, watching the mist swirl over the valleys of Zarathus. The twin moons had vanished behind the mountains, leaving only the pale violet sky. He felt a faint hum beneath his feet, the planet's energy thrumming like a heartbeat. Today, he knew, would be important. Alara approached silently, her footsteps soft on the crystal floor. She wore a robe of silver and blue that shimmered in the light. Her glowing eyes studied him carefully, as if trying to read his thoughts. "You are unusually calm," she said quietly. "Even after everything that has happened, even after the rogue attacks, you do not seem afraid." "I have reason to be cautious," Liam said, "but fear is not useful. It clouds judgment. Humans survive by observing, calculating, and acting at the right moment. That is what I do." Alara's expression softened slightly, but her eyes were still sharp. "You are more than clever, human. You are careful, patient, and yet you influence events in ways I do not understand. I do not know your limits." Liam looked out over the city. Limits are something humans test. We survive by discovering what we can do and then using it when the moment comes. Alara studied him, a mix of admiration and unease in her gaze. She had been Empress of Zarathus for decades. She had faced threats of rebellion, betrayal in war. And yet in front of her was a human who seemed calm, capable, and stronger than she expected. The council chamber summoned them next. Reports had come in that a rogue faction had gained control of a strategic outpost near the northern mountains. This group was not merely testing her rule. They intended to destabilize the empire. Alara's usual confidence was tempered by concern. Liam stood beside her as the council discussed strategy. Arguments erupted, voices rising, each member suggesting different approaches. Some urged a direct attack, others suggested negotiation. Alara listened, her hands folded, her face unreadable. Liam spoke only when asked. "A direct attack risks too much," he said. "Their strength lies in their knowledge of your defenses. We need precision, timing, and unpredictability. They do not anticipate humans, and they cannot predict humans' creativity. Use that." Several council members frowned. "You speak boldly for a visitor," one said.
Alara raised a hand. He has observed carefully.
"I value his insight." The council fell silent, each member glancing at Liam with a mixture of suspicion and curiosity. He felt their scrutiny but did not waver. Humans had survived scrutiny far harsher than this. Later, Liam and Alara traveled to the northern mountains. The terrain was jagged, with cliffs and narrow passes. Mist hung low in the valleys, hiding the movements of the rogue faction. Liam studied maps, energy readings, and patrol schedules. He calculated the paths of guards, the likely positions of the enemy, and the safest approach to regain control. Alara followed him silently, watching his every movement. She felt a strange mix of anticipation and tension. For the first time, she wondered if humans were truly as weak as her species had always believed. When they reached the outpost, the rogue faction was preparing defenses. Liam signaled subtly to the human technology he had carried. Small devices, almost unnoticeable, began emitting energy pulses that disrupted the enemy's communications without harming them. Alara's eyes widened. You are affecting their systems."
I am helping them see what they cannot, Liam said quietly. Humans survive by adapting and creating opportunities.
This is what I do. The rogue forces were confused and uncoordinated, giving Alara's troops the advantage. Liam directed small maneuvers, guiding the defenders without ever touching a weapon. The outpost was reclaimed with minimal casualties. Alara stared at him, her face pale. "You hide more than skill," she said. "I can feel power. A power I do not understand." Liam nodded. "I have abilities humans have developed over centuries. They are subtle but effective. I reveal them only when necessary." She studied him for a long moment, her glowing eyes narrowing. "You are unlike any human I have known. I always believed humans were fragile, clever perhaps, but fragile. And yet," Liam met her gaze calmly, "humans endure because we adapt, because we learn, because we hide strength until it is needed. That is our way." For the first time, Alara felt uncertainty. She had always been strong, confident, and in control, and yet here was a human who challenged everything she knew. She had power, psychic abilities, and centuries of knowledge, but she could sense that Liam had something beyond her understanding. The night fell as they returned to the palace. Alara could not stop thinking about him. She had been Empress for decades, yet she felt a strange pull, curiosity and caution toward this human who had altered the course of events without fighting, without threatening, only by being clever and capable. That evening, in the private garden, Alara confronted him. "Tell me the truth, Liam," she said, her voice firm. "What else do you hide?" Liam looked at her calmly. "What I have shown is enough for now. Humans survive by timing, patience, and knowledge. Some powers must remain hidden until the right moment. To reveal them too soon is dangerous." Alara took a step closer. "I feel it. I sense strength, ability, something beyond comprehension." "You are not ordinary." "You are—" She stopped, searching for words. "You are dangerous in ways I cannot measure." Liam smiled faintly. "I am dangerous only to those who underestimate me. Humans are underestimated far too often." "That is why we endure." For a moment, the air between them was silent, charged. Alara had faced armies, alien powers, and rebellions, yet she had never felt such tension with any individual. This human, small in appearance, radiated a calm authority that unsettled her. "You will have to teach me," she said finally. "If humans are as capable as you claim, I need to understand. I cannot ignore this potential." "I will show you," Liam said simply, "but carefully. Trust is earned. Power must be controlled. And patience! Patience is the greatest strength of all." Alara studied him again. She had always been cautious, but now she was intrigued, challenged, and in some way drawn to him. A human, small and fragile to the eye, could change everything on Zerathis. The following days brought more challenges. Reports came of rogue factions and political unrest. Liam guided Alara subtly, teaching her to consider human strategies, adaptability, unpredictability, and unconventional thinking. She began to see the difference humans made. They were clever, adaptable, and resilient. And Liam. Liam was more than clever. He had knowledge, intuition, and abilities she could only guess at. Then, one evening, during a quiet moment in the palace balcony, Liam revealed a fraction of his hidden power. A small device malfunctioned, threatening the palace's energy grid. Without hesitation, he raised his hand, and a faint wave of energy emanated from him. The device stabilized instantly, humming calmly as if nothing had ever gone wrong. Alara froze, her eyes wide. You did that?" she whispered. "I guided it," Liam said calmly. "Humans can manipulate energy in ways most species cannot. I revealed only enough to prevent harm."
She could not speak.
For the first time, Alara felt fear, not of him, but of underestimating him. She realized that humans, whom she had always considered weaker, could wield power far beyond what she imagined. "You hide much," she said finally, her voice trembling slightly. "I underestimated you. I have always hidden my full power. Liam said. To reveal everything too soon can be dangerous. But you now know a fraction. The rest will be shown when necessary.
Alara's heart raced. She had been Empress of Zarathus for decades, faced threats of rebellion, war, and betrayal, yet she had never felt such tension with any individual.
This human, small, seemingly ordinary, was extraordinary in every way. She realized that her trust, her respect, and even her feelings toward him were growing. You are unlike any human I have known, she said quietly, and yet I feel compelled to trust you. Liam met her gaze calmly. Trust is a choice, Your Majesty. Humans endure because we choose carefully when to trust, when to act, and when to reveal what we can do. For the first time, Alara saw humans as more than clever creatures. She saw their potential, their hidden strength, and the possibility that they could change the balance of power in the galaxy. And in that moment, she realized that her human mate, Liam Carter, was more than an ally. He was a force beyond her understanding. As night deepened, the palace was quiet. Alara and Liam stood together, looking out over the glowing city. The twin moons reflected on the rivers below, and the faint hum of the planet pulsed beneath them. Alara felt a mix of respect, fear, and admiration. Liam had revealed only a fraction of his power, yet it was enough to change everything she thought she knew. She knew that soon they would face challenges that could test both their strength and their bond, and she was ready to face them, alongside him. The morning light on Zarathus was pale and soft, but there was tension in the air. The rogue faction had grown bolder, and intelligence reports suggested they were planning a major strike against the capital. Alara stood on the balcony of her palace, her glowing eyes fixed on the distant mountains. Liam Carter joined her, calm as always, though he felt the weight of what was coming.
They have learned from our previous encounters, Alara said quietly.
This time they will not hesitate. They will strike with everything they have. Liam nodded. Then we must be ready. Humans survive by anticipating, adapting, and acting decisively. We can use what we know to our advantage. Alara turned to him, her eyes sharp. Your guidance has already changed the course of events, but I sense there is more you have not shown me. I have kept some abilities hidden, Liam admitted. The right moment to reveal them is now, if you wish, but even then, we must act carefully. Alara studied him for a long moment. Finally, she nodded. Do it. Show me what humans can do. Liam smiled faintly. He extended his hands, and energy began to flow around him. It was subtle at first, barely noticeable, but then it intensified. The air around him vibrated, and the crystals in the palace walls began to hum in response. His energy connected with the planet itself, sensing the flow of power beneath Zarathus. Alara stepped back, awe and fear in her eyes. Incredible, she whispered. I have never seen such control. I am not reckless, Liam said. This power is meant to protect, to guide, and to endure. I will use it to stop the rogues before they cause destruction. Together they moved to the command chamber. The rogue faction had gathered near the northern mountains, preparing to attack the capital. Liam analyzed their positions, their energy signatures, and the terrain. He devised a plan that combined human strategy and Zarathian precision, an approach the enemy would never anticipate. Alara commanded the forces with renewed confidence, following Liam's guidance. She sent her best warriors to strategic positions, but it was Liam who controlled the larger flow of energy, subtly influencing the battlefield without the enemy knowing. The attack began at dawn. Rogue forces advanced, confident and aggressive. Alara's warriors held their ground, but Liam's unseen hand shifted the battlefield. Energy pulses disrupted the enemy's communication, creating confusion. Pathways that seemed safe suddenly became impassable, forcing the rogues into traps designed by Liam's calculations. Alara watched, her heart pounding. She had faced many battles, but never had she witnessed someone change the course of events so completely without lifting a weapon. The humans' unpredictability combined with Liam's subtle control was overwhelming the enemy. Small squads of rogues tried to regroup, but Liam anticipated their movements. He directed Alara's forces with precision, creating opportunities that would not have existed otherwise.
The rogues began to panic as their careful planning fell apart. Alara felt a surge of respect and trust for Liam.
She realized that humans were more than adaptable. They were powerful in ways she had never imagined. And Liam, he was extraordinary. The battle reached its peak when the rogue leaders attempted to strike the palace directly. Liam stepped forward, extending his hands. A wave of energy flowed outward, forming a protective barrier around the palace. The rogue forces collided with it and were thrown back, unable to penetrate. Alara's warriors seized the moment. With Liam's guidance, they moved decisively, capturing or disarming the rogue forces.
The battle was over within hours, and the capital remained secure.
Alara approached Liam as the dust settled. Her glowing eyes were wide with awe. You have changed everything," she said softly. "Humans are not what I expected." "You are not what I expected. I have only shown a fraction of what humans can do," Liam replied calmly. "We endure because we adapt. We survive because we think, learn, and act when needed. That is our strength." Alara studied him for a long moment. She had faced threats she thought were insurmountable, yet here was a human who had turned the tide without a weapon, without overwhelming force, only intelligence, patience, and hidden power. She felt admiration, trust, and something she had not expected, a bond that went beyond duty. "You have earned my trust," she said quietly.
"And more than that, my respect. I underestimated humans, and I underestimated you."
Liam smiled faintly. "Respect is earned, Your Majesty. Humans understand that better than most." The victory brought calm back to the capital. The council members spoke of rebuilding and reform, but Alara's focus remained on Liam. She had seen what humans were capable of, and she knew that their bond could change the future of Zarathus. Over the following days, Liam and Alara worked together to stabilize the Empire. They implemented new strategies that combined Zarathian discipline with human adaptability. Trade routes were secured, energy systems were fortified, and rogue factions were brought under control. Alara observed Liam closely. She had once seen humans as fragile, clever perhaps, but weak. Now she understood that humans had hidden strength, resilience, and intelligence that could rival any alien species. And Liam was more than any human she had ever imagined. One evening, as the twin moons rose over the mountains, Liam and Alara stood together in the palace gardens. The plants glowed softly, reflecting the calm after the storm.
"You have shown me much," Alara said quietly.
"But I sense there is more you could do if needed. I do not fear you, but I am aware of your power. It is remarkable."
"I use my abilities carefully," Liam said. "Power without purpose is dangerous.
I reveal only what is necessary. The rest I keep hidden until it is needed."
Alara nodded, understanding the wisdom in his words.
She had always controlled everything, yet here was someone who controlled far more than she had expected, and without dominating. "I trust you," she said finally. "Not because I have to, but because I choose to. You have proven that humans are more than I imagined, and that you are extraordinary." Liam looked at her calmly. "Trust is earned, and we have earned it together. Humans survive because we learn, adapt, and endure. And now I hope to help you build a future where humans and Zarathians can stand together." Alara's eyes softened, and for the first time she allowed herself to feel something beyond duty. She had a mate, a human who was clever, strong, and capable in ways no one had expected, and she realized that together they could face anything: rogues, threats, or the unknown dangers of the galaxy. The palace hummed softly around them, the energy of Zarathus calm and steady. Liam and Alara stood side by side, looking at the glowing city below. The twin moons reflected on the rivers, and the faint pulse of the planet under their feet was steady, as if acknowledging the new alliance between human and Zarathian. Alara reached for Liam's hand. "I did not expect to feel this," she said softly. "I did not expect to trust so completely." "You may trust," Liam said simply. "Humans endure, adapt, and survive. And we do not fail those who place their trust wisely.
She smiled faintly, a rare expression from an empress used to command and control.
Then we shall face the future together, she said. Liam nodded. Together. The twin moons rose higher, casting their light across the glowing city. Zarathus was safe for now, and its future looked brighter than ever. Humans had proven their worth, and Liam Carter had proven that one human, clever, patient, and powerful, could change the fate of an entire empire. As they stood together, the hum of the planet beneath them and the soft glow of the city around them, Alara realized something profound. Humans were more than clever and resilient. They were a force to be respected, to be feared, and to be trusted. And Liam was the embodiment of that truth. The rogue faction had been defeated, the empire was stable, and a bond had been forged that could alter the course of history. And in that moment, the Empress of Zarathus knew that the human by her side was more than a visitor. He was a mate, a partner, and a power unlike any she had ever encountered. The night deepened, but neither of them moved. They stood together looking at the stars above and the glowing city below. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humans and Zarathians, together, could face anything. And for the first time, Alara allowed herself to hope.